I knew from the very first time I used a Helios cartridge that it was one of the best cartridges I've ever used. I remember the very first time I used a 7-liner and a 9-mag, and I felt like I can't believe I had been tattooing for so long without using Helios cartridges.
It's a solid product overall. I mean, if you want to compare it to the other cartridges that are out there, I mean, I'd say they're the best, or certainly like in the upper echelon. I mean, I like that with previous tips that I've used, they're extremely stiff, is what I found. And sometimes you have to work that little plunger like 100 times before you can actually get it to the desired plunge. And with Helios, I don't really have that issue.
I basically use Helios needles because I've tried every brand that's been on the market, and I've had just trouble with every other brand of needle. I've always had either a barb needle or something's wrong.
When you're buying a box of 20 and you've got even 1, 2, or 3 duds, that kind of adds up over time. And with Helios, I don't find that. There's a much smaller margin for error in them.
I like them just because they're very consistent. It's like you don't really have to worry about any kind of hook needles. The quality that goes into them is definitely up there.
I got to try out a few here and there, and I mean, honestly, hands down, it's probably one of the best cartridges needle system that I've used. So I'm really glad that they make such a well product for artists to use.
I've used other cartridges from other companies that are flimsy, that kind of buckle or break as you're using them, and it just feels very unprofessional, very cheap. And Helios, I think, is this perfect combination of sturdiness and durability, but with some sort of streamline ability where the needles are just soft and smooth and perfect, and I know that I can rely on the cartridges. I've done 8-hour tattoos with them, 9-hour tattoos with them, and so far I've never had an issue.
I'll be able to do a whole tattoo with 3 different 7s and never have a problem. Like you won't think like it was a 7 and a 5 and a 7 again or whatever. So they're always consistent for me, at least. I've never had a bad needle.
Prior to using Helios, I would always worry about, is this liner going to be the same width or thickness as the last liner that I used with the same type? And with Helios, I don't have to worry about that because the lines are always the same. The shaders are always nice and smooth, and I have no problems with consistency. That's what I love the most about it.
It was really easy using Helios, especially because they do have the smaller ones. So for fine line, detail stuff, single needle, they carry all those. So it was just perfect because I didn't feel like I was totally changing what I was doing. It was just a bar for a cartridge.
When I first started using them, the very first thing that I noticed was it was really quiet and really smooth. They were also true to size to I started tattooing a while ago. Using other needles like the standard needle on the bar, and so the size of a 7-round liner for those old school needles. When I started using cartridges, it was hard to find things that were similar to what I would expect the size to be.
Well, I love the fact that they have such a large variation of needles. They got pretty much anything and everything you can think of, over I think 70 variations, which comes in handy because every artist likes something different. So it's really nice to have such a large variety, rather than be limited to something so small and simple. You really get to pick and choose what you want for what project. So it's pretty convenient. I love it.
You have from bug pin single all the way up to a 27 mag in standard and bug pin. So their bug pin long tapers, I'm more of a photorealism black and gray artist, so their bug pin paper, long taper needles to get a smooth gradients, real simple, real super and easy, works effectively with you. So it goes in and out super smooth.
The quality of the product is so amazing that Yeah, I'm super thankful to be involved with them, actually. Really, really great. It also feels a bit like a family.
I can very confidently say it's one of the companies I enjoy using most, both because the product is amazing and because it's it really feels like a family.
I believed in it. A few of my friends believed in it. Then he signed me up for a sponsorship, and I started turning some of my friends onto it. And now it was a family. It's a Helios family of artists, and we all travel together. We all have a good time together. And it's based off of Craig and his beautiful wife. They together have made this a good thing to be a part of. The products themselves are quality. He takes input from artists, which some people will just take a product, throw it out there, and not take other people's inputs or creative criticism. He's open to it. He's taken it. He's even made the product better since I first signed on.
And that's one of the things I love the best is that they listen to the artists. Like even just recently they added new groupings. And firsthand that just shows you word for word. Like they listen to what we're saying and what we need.
I have not used anything other than the Helios cartridges because to this day I loop every single cartridge I use, and I still haven't found a single bad cartridge at all. And they're super consistent. My work's gotten super smooth since I've been using it, and I've been getting comments from all my peers as well as my clients that come back with nice healed tattoos, and I just love the cartridges and as well as the rest of the product.
Why I would tell another artist to switch to Helios is a few reasons. One being the quality of the needle, the selection of needles, because now you have single needles, and all different types of needle formations, as well as just the fact that the mechanics never break down on the needle.
You want a reliable needle. You want something that you're going to be able to take out of the box, look at it, it's perfect, and you can go. You don't have to wonder, like, oh, is this going to, unhinge halfway through the tattoo? Is this going to have a barb in it? So the quality control is probably the number one thing, but right on its heels is the customer service.
Honestly, I can talk about Helios cartridges all day long, but really, for any artist, I would recommend trying it. Once you try the cartridge, I think you'll understand why I'm so excited personally about the product.